Hey, cool, we're live. Look at that. Hello, everyone. So now, granted, I do have to say I don't have a mic and I can barely speak, but regardless, there we go. I don't know if there was echo there for a second, but it's gone now. I'm back. We're talking about the Bad Batch. Shayla Brown, as always, every week except for the last few weeks. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's good to be back. It's been a few weeks. I don't even know what episode we did. We like, where are we? I don't know, but I'm
The
here.
Juggernaut.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Um, but before that, we do have to kind of like. I feel like so much has happened over the last few weeks that we have to do a little bit of nonsense and just kind of, you know, tell the audience what's been going on because I feel like at least I owe them an explanation. I mean, you haven't really done anything where you owe them an explanation, but I feel like I owe them an explanation for not showing up for 3 weeks, you know?
Okay, all right.
So, for me at least, it started with exams. I got through those alive, you know? And then I had my wisdom teeth out, all four of them, and that killed me for a week. Literally, I could not speak and or eat, and those are my two like top tier things. And even now we're a little bit rough, but we got to do what we got to do.
Yeah, every day we were like, yeah, we'll do it tonight, and then you text me and be
Yeah.
like, I still can't talk, and then it's like, okay, we just kept pushing it, and it was really funny, but also like it sucked because it's like, oh man, you're really going
I was
through.
I was really hoping that one day I'd wake up and I'd be like, wait a second, I can talk and I can do like because like I didn't want to like be unfair and not be able to do an hour like a proper conversation about these episodes.
Mhm.
So I was kind of, I was like, let's just push it. And then something happened for you over the weekend. Big news, right? Which
I mean, I had a dance recital this weekend. I had two
yeah.
dance recitals this weekend. So we did the dress rehearsal Friday, which is exhausting. And then we do two shows on the weekend, which is in the same day, which is equally exhausting. And by the time we were done, my brain power was like done. Like someone had texted me the night of the dress rehearsal, and I completely forgot to respond to them until this morning because I was like, oh my god, my brain was just consumed by dance, and that was it. And everything else, like if we had tried to do it that night, I would have powered through. I might not have been very coherent or eloquent, so I think between the both of us, if we had tried, it would have been a
That would have
mess.
been a disaster. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And then it's even funnier. So I don't have my proper mic with me today because I'm home from school, whatever. So but I forgot the little like USB like MacBook USB connector for my microphone. So I'm just using my MacBook microphone right now.
Mhm.
And it's so the audio quality as is not going to be great from my end. So I apologize for that, but um, it is what
It's
it
not
is.
terrible. It's not terrible. It could be worse.
Oh yeah, it could be a lot worse, but that is where we are. But yeah, it's been crazy. Although what I will say, and I think I messaged you about this, but when I so in my like very drugged up, you know lucid state for the last week, what I did do is I did spend, and it kind of sad. It took me an entire week to do this, but I finished one of the High Republic books, the Eye of Darkness, I believe. I don't remember what it's actually called anymore, but it was enticing. I'm not gonna lie, like it filled a lot of holes. It's the first one of this year's kind of phase, um, but I gotta say I was impressed by it. It filled a lot of holes for me, and um, let's see what was it called. The Eye of Darkness, yeah, George Mann. It was it was good, and I gotta say, it scared me. I think it was probably the best written High Republic book thus far.
Mhm.
So that was a fun little thing.
I'm currently reading the new Star Wars book that just came out. It's called The Living Force. And I'm really enjoying it. It's really good, and like we get to see a bunch of Jedi who are on the council, and like we might, like, at least me. I've heard their names before a million times, but it's like, I don't know who Jarl Poof is in detail. And like in this book we get to like take a glimpse at like all of them, and like Yaddle, and like all of these like people who we might have seen glimpses of, but like we haven't gotten to spend in-depth time with. So like you get to do that in this audiobook or in this book, and I'm really enjoying it. I'm like halfway through.
Yeah, so I what I was trying to do, and I only got through one book, but I was trying to fill because there's a few holes in my High Republic reading, so I
Mhm.
was trying to fill those holes before I kind of caught up with with the more recent stuff. But
Mhm.
I do have to do that too. That's next on the list because I mean I don't know about you, but I've been enjoying these enough where I think we should keep doing this. Like we got Tales of the Empire on the 4th.
True, yeah.
Um we've always got the season finale of this, the Bad Batch, which we haven't even talked about yet. Then we've got what's
The
next? We've
Acolyte.
got the Acolyte. Yep, thank you. Um and then I'm sure there's going to be more stuff in between that around that. So I mean, and then obviously, like, I think we should just keep doing this. Honestly,
I think it's
I've
fun,
been
yeah.
enjoying this. Let's just
Me
talk
too.
Star Wars every, you know,
Whenever something happens.
exactly. We will come on and we'll talk Star Wars, and we will not. This is not just going to end with. It started with the Bad Batch. It's not going to end there. We're going to keep doing this again. Star Wars is just never ending. So eventually, we'll get more seasons of Ahsoka and Andor and the Mandalorian, and every time that something happens, every episode, or maybe we'll take a few breaks and we'll come back and do big episodes like this. But we'll talk about Star Wars because I like doing this. Is very therapeutic for me to talk about Star Wars like this. So
Mhm. Mhm.
you know. Now, I don't know. Do you want to talk about the Bad Batch?
I mean, it's what we came here to do.
That's true. Let's do it. Okay.
We've got a few to
So,
catch up on.
oh yeah. So I don't. So I was thinking about how to do this because I don't know how well you remember these episodes. I mean, I watched them all. I was very drugged up. Again, don't know how well I'm going to be able to like recall certain parts of it, but or at least how well I'll be able to differentiate the like it feels like one long thing.
Yeah,
Um,
fair.
and then you probably watched them when they came out. So
Yeah,
I was thinking, let's talk about the overall kind of feelings on this, and then we'll kind of get more specific, and we'll do it kind of like that.
that's fair because they are blurring together in my head. I did not rewatch them today. I just watched them when they came out.
Yeah. So then let's talk about the general kind of, I guess thoughts on the show, how we feel leading up to the finale. We'll talk then once we get our memories kind of warmed up. We'll talk about the episodes in detail. Then we'll talk about the finale at the end, um,
Mhm.
and all that. So, can I tell you something about this? And again, I don't. I feel like I'm going to disappoint you when I say this, but I kind of feel let down by the show again. I don't think they've done a good enough job setting up this finale. I just I don't know. I just feel like they just it's all felt so slow, and like there's so many things that like if this is a 20-minute finale, I don't think they can possibly cover everything they need to cover.
I if it's 20-minute finale, I'm throwing my computer out the window because I cannot see how you wrap a story this big up in 20 minutes. Like I just can't. I assume that it's going to be like a similar situation to Rebels, where it's like a 40-minute finale. You know, if we're particularly ambitious, maybe like an hour. Like the first episode ever of the Bad One, but it was like an hour and 13 minutes. So like, why can't we do that again? But like, regardless, if it's 20 minutes, I'm gonna be mad because there's no way. Like, how? You can't.
So I don't know if you saw, and this is kind of getting off topic, but I don't know if you saw on the Star Wars social media, there was the 99 post, right? Which was like 90. The
Yes.
meaning of it was actually 99 hours till the season finale. But someone in the
Mhm.
comments, I don't know if you saw the comment. There's like a top comment was like, "I thought this was like an announcement of the 99-minute finale," and I was like, that was what I thought when I saw because was scrolling, I saw it. I'm like, wait a second, is the finale gonna be not? Because there's no way they can do this in 20 minutes. But no, it was
No,
99 hours till it starts. 99-minute finale would be awesome. By the way, I would love
that
that.
would be awesome. I would love that.
But like there's just because they do this and they did this thing, and I guess we're kind of jumping now, but like they do the Zillow Beast thing, right? And they just kind of throw it in there. I don't know. Did we know that before?
Yes, because
Okay, we did.
in season two, the Zillow Beast did get free, and then they recaptured it. So it was like a
No, I'm
big
saying
point.
did we know for this like for this season that that was Necromancer?
I don't know if we know what specific project that is, or if it's even related to Necromancer. But we did know that the science division does have it for research purposes.
Oh, okay, because I think we were predicting that the Zillow Beast was Necromancer, or was at least very involved in that. So I wasn't sure if we had gotten confirmation on that or not. But I think that's what it is. You again, you can't throw that in unless it's connected, in my mind.
Yeah.
But I don't know. So by the way, I don't think we talked about the fact that they have a bunch of. We did talk about the kidnapped kids a little bit, but let's talk
Mhm.
because that was the episode we talked about last, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
But what what is the deal with the like? I don't know what to make of these kids. They seem to have no personality still, and they've been in 2 episodes now, and they don't seem to have any value to this story at all.
Well, I think in terms of value to the story, it's giving Omega something to fight for other than herself. Because that's who Omega is. Like, if she was just in Tantus alone again, it would be kind of boring seeing her trying to escape again because we've seen her do that before. But like now she has these children who are more vulnerable than her because they don't have, they don't have a group of brothers who have trained her to assess situations and get through them. They just have each other, and it seems like I understand why you think their personalities are not there, but I think it's because the lab and the scientists have squashed all of that personality and all that hope out of them, and so they don't know how to be children anymore because the lab has crushed them.
Okay, so I think I don't think I made myself clear. So not what I mean personalities, I don't mean like actual personalities. What I mean more is like their role in the story, right? Because like there was this moment, I think it was probably the most recent episode, because that's the one I think they were in. But Omega's like, look, if they come buy me time, they don't really do anything to buy her time. They just kind of like one says that they're sick. It doesn't really work. Like, you know, like they don't do anything together. Like, they don't come together in any way to like buy her time or do anything like that. And I think it's kind of almost, you know, it's frustrating because it's like they've shown up twice now. Like, are they going to do anything or are they just going to like exist essentially?
I think they are going to have a bigger role in the finale because Omega said at the end of the episode, "I need your help to pull this off," and I have a feeling that those kids are gonna because they are force sensitive kids, and I have a feeling that they're gonna reach out and connect to the Zilla Beast. That's my theory.
Interesting. Actually, I like that. Also, how does Omega put the bricks on the wall so quickly?
I don't know. Magic.
The Force, you mean? Because that's the magic in Star
I
Wars.
mean, I mean, maybe like I don't know, faster than I could do it.
Like,
Also,
because I saw
quieter.
that's the most unrealistic thing that happened in the show is the fact that she was able to, with literally within seconds, put the blocks back on the wall.
Yeah, yeah, it is pretty unrealistic, especially with like it would be loud. Like you couldn't do that quietly, but she does.
and and not perfectly, like not perfectly like that where you don't even suspect anything.
No, yeah, I would just try and block it off with something so that she wouldn't see it. I don't know.
Like Shawshank Redemption style, put a poster on top, so you can't see the hole.
Yeah,
That's what you got to do. I'm
I would
telling you,
sit
yeah,
in front of it. I know that looks
exactly.
suspicious, but it's not.
Yeah, I don't. That was weird. Also, how could she just fit up there? Like she just fits up there, and she just kind of gets up quickly, and then she gets down even faster. That
I
whole
mean,
sequence was weird.
it's the same with Ezra Bridger because he can like go in all these vent shafts, and it's like, okay, but in real life, like, okay, you know.
I feel like this is weirder though, because like she's climbing up walls, like literally up walls. Like it's not like a vent where you're climbing across. It's like she's climbing up walls, she's dodging things, and then she comes down in like 3 seconds. Like it kind of loses stake to some like just the stakes kind of get lost in it because it's like, oh yeah, we know she can make it down. She's good.
Yeah. We don't really get to see her much in the walls either.
No, she's
Like
just
there
magically
are just
doing it.
glimpses. If I had gotten to see like I don't know, if I had gotten to see like her climbing down the walls and the scientists coming towards the room and it's like her struggling to get down the walls, I would feel a little bit more like, oh, stakes are higher. But like we're focused more on like the kids and them trying to distract the scientists. And it's like,
Which they don't do a lot of anyways, but yeah.
yeah, they try. They try their best, which isn't good, but you know.
They'd be funnier if they did something to like use a force to like, mess with them or something. But they don't
Yeah,
even do
yeah, just
that.
start throwing shit at them.
So what do you think? So I guess I don't know. Do you have anything else really about that specific subplot?
No. We're getting somewhere. We're getting the beast. I'm excited.
I am excited about that actually.
I hope he eats
Um,
him.
so I don't think we talked about how she got. I think so. I think the episode we talked about was when she got captured, right?
Yeah.
That was the episode she got captured, and then we didn't talk about the next two. I honestly do not even remember what happened in the next two. I'm just looking at the. Oh yeah, the bastard tried to figure out where she is. I forgot about
Yeah.
that part. And find out the location of Tantus, which they do. Okay, so what did you think about that whole finding the location of Tantus thing?
I was really happy to see Echo come back and play
Mm-hmm.
such an integral part in that. Because I'm gonna go off about Echo for a minute. Oh, that's my guide dog snoring.
Go ahead.
But Echo, we when we're reintroduced to him in the Clone Wars, he's been taken as a prisoner by the Techno Union and experimented on. And in this show, he's been kind of working behind the scenes with Rex to try and get the coordinates to Tantus to save his brothers who are being experimented on. And so it was really exciting that he not only got to play an integral point in getting the coordinates to the base, but also like is the first one of them to I know this is later on, is the first one of them to infiltrate the base and
Mm-hmm.
recruit Emery. So I was really excited to see him come back and make such an impact because he hasn't been around nearly as much as I'd like him to this season. He's very underutilized, and it's nice to see him back and play such a huge role.
So there is one, and again, I'm just gonna do the nitpicky thing while you praise these characters. Um, his hand, right? So he has one hand, he has one non-hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I understand that. He, if I'm remembering correctly, he takes a robot hand
Mm-hmm.
and he puts it onto his hand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he has a fully functioning hand, essentially, right?
I mean, I assumed that it was more to fit in with the troopers. Um, so that it looked like I don't think it's fully functional. I don't think he can like
Oh,
move the
so we're
finger.
not assuming it's fully functional then, because that's what
I
I kind of assumed was fully functional. Like, why would you ever like get rid of like? I'd keep that on then. That's you get a hand. That's great.
I assumed that it was just to like try and like blend in with the troopers a little bit more.
I did too, but I thought that he would like the result of it would be a fully functioning hand. I thought they're gonna basically give him a hand out of this that he can use, but he can still take it off and do whatever he needs to and put it back on. But then he kind of, if I remember correctly, he gets rid of it, and so that's why I was kind of thinking in my brain. I'm like, I don't know. Like if you have a fully functioning hand, just keep your hand. Like hands are good. You're useful.
Yeah, but he also needs
But
to take it off to put the scomp link in the computer.
yeah, that's fair. Um, What about the old Imperial dude who they break out?
He's really funny.
He kind of reminds me of Callus at this point, like in Rebels.
I get where that comes from, but also I don't trust him the way that I trusted Callus at this point.
Oh, I didn't trust Callus at all until the end. I mean, I did not think Callus was a good guy until that one scene with Zeb.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't trust Callus at all.
I don't think I'm ever gonna trust Rampart. I don't like I some people are like, "Oh, he's gonna like have a change." I don't think he's gonna have a change of heart at all. I think he's gonna rat them out. I mean, I don't really know what there is to rat out at this point because he's kind of just been dragged along, but like he's being taken prisoner and I think he's just going to throw himself at the empire's feet to try and maintain his dignity, which good luck, but I don't trust him at all.
Yeah, and again, I feel like again, he does this he is this like character where it's like, you bring him back, which is fun, but like where's it going? Like I just feel like his arc, like again, how do you resolve this like again, I'm looking at this season finale like it's a 20-minute thing. I don't know how you resolve this because you leave it and then you just kind of move on. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay. Like I don't know. Cuz like I like what they're doing with him, but I feel like again, this show needs another season to wrap up, right?
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's so many loose ends with Remart with the kids, the Force kids, that it feels like it needs another season. There's so much stuff going on.
Mhm.
Now, I do have to say, I am happy we've gotten some more classic Bad Batch action scenes.
Yeah.
We got it with the transport scene right in the first episode with them trying to free Rampart from the transport.
Mhm.
Um, you got it a little bit when they were breaking into the bay, into the command centers for the codes.
Mhm.
I'm happy we're getting that back. I think that's like well needed and well deserved for us.
Mhm. It's some good payoff because we haven't seen that in a while.
Now, what do you think in terms of like, I guess get like have I guess look at the season kind of, but also these last few episodes. Doesn't it feel like the action's still like very different from like Rebels and the Clone Wars? Because it feels like there's still like significantly less amazing action, despite getting some good classic action scenes.
Um, it's hard to say for me because I didn't have audio description for a lot, like most of Clone Wars, and for the last season of Rebels, I didn't have it either. Um, so I mean, for me as a visually impaired person, action isn't like the most important thing for me to tell a story. So it might
And that's
not be the
fair.
part that I enjoy the most. But for you, it could be very different.
Yeah, well, I think the reason I was saying that is because like I feel like the action scenes normally like the problem is, and this is the weird thing where it's like, and obviously you've told the story before, and in terms of your experience with Kanan's death, right?
Hmm.
But like the thing about the action scenes is it kind of with the lack of them, there's the stakes of and again, I am very committed to the fact that like two or three of these people are going to die on Wednesday. Um, but like I feel like the problem with the lack of action scenes is kind of doesn't give you this understanding of what they can do and how strong they are, right? Because it's a cartoon, so
Hmm.
inevitably there's a certain level of like, okay, they could get shot and they're still not going to die type thing. You know what I mean? Like you can shoot them,
Hmm.
but they're not really going to die because it's a cartoon. It's not really like the level of force to kill someone in a cartoon is different than in a live action show or in a movie, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And I think my worry is if you do something like for example, again, hypothetically, if someone falls from like a ship, you you wouldn't think they're dead as you wouldn't in like a movie if they die in like a show, right? Like in like this show, because you don't have any relative sense for what does it take to kill someone, right? Like the
Yeah,
only person I guess we've seen get killed um
tech.
is Tech, yeah. And that was even a weird thing where I don't even know if he is dead. I mean, at this point, there's one episode left and he hasn't come back yet, so I guess he is dead. But like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And oh yeah, and the other thing is like, what is up with the assassin dudes? Because like they just kind of vanished.
I know I guess they found Omega and now they're. I think we'll see them again in the finale, trying to
How much
defend
are they gonna do
Omega.
in this finale, man? I don't know
I
what they're gonna.
I don't know.
Like, that's what
Uh,
I'm saying, like, there's so many questions, there's so many things which is like, "Hey, you dropped this little seed of like, oh, look, these assassins are gonna be important.
yeah.
Don't forget." But we haven't seen them. Oh, look, Ventress gonna be important. I showed up once. Oh,
Yeah.
Cad Bane showing up. This person showing up. Oh, these kids showing up. Oh, the big project. We still don't know what the big project is, and it's been, a whole season of this show.
Mhm.
So I just feel like there's so many things that they have to do,
Mhm.
and I just don't know how they're going to do this. It's going to be amazing for them to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah, where they have the time to do it. I will be staying up Wednesday to I will be staying up until 3 a.m. like a crazy person because it's the finale and I can do that. And
I think we should.
I'm gonna feel awful in the morning, but it's okay.
I think we should just pull an all nighter. I think we should record it right after the finale.
That might be hard because people in my house are sleeping.
Oh, okay, that's
Yeah,
fair.
I don't want to wake them up. But
Okay,
we
that's
can
fair.
definitely do it obviously that day.
We'll do it. We'll try to do it earlier than like nighttime if we can. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Um, but yeah. Um, oh yeah. So let's do MVPs for these, and then we'll talk about the finale more because I do want to. I have more questions about the finale than I do about the rest of the show. Wait, do you have any other things that you want to talk about for these?
No, I think we can do MVPs.
Okay. So do you want to do episode by episode, or do you want to do it just through the three? We can maybe even do like we can do three MVPs through the three episodes, so we don't have to choose
Okay.
for each episode.
All right.
Do you have
Um,
yours, or do you want me to go?
why don't you go because I need to
Okay.
think.
So I'm gonna go episode by episode, kind of.
Yeah.
For the last episode, it's got to be Omega. I mean, you know, Omega was just great for the I believe it was the second episode in like for Into the Breach. Sorry,
Mhm.
it might have been Flash Strike, but whatever. The second MVP is going to be Crosshair, and it's for this one reason. Okay, so there's this one scene, and this actually made me think of you in like what you've been saying about this show and about Crosshair. But so Crosshair was walking through the forest, right?
Mhm.
And on the planet, right?
Yeah.
And talking to Rampart about basically like how they're different, right? They're comparing each. Remember, it's like, oh, we're the same, right? And we both
Yeah.
did whatever with the Empire. And he's like, no, I'm not like you. I have a reason to fight, or something like that, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
that was like, again, that was kind of the validation of what you've been saying for ever, basically.
Mhm.
And that was like, again, one of those moments where like Crosshair just showing like he is that character, like he is the heart, he is kind of becoming the heart and soul of the show in a way which I don't think any of us expected.
Yeah.
And then I mean, last I kind of got to go Rampart. I mean, I don't know. I feel like he deserves it somewhat. Like he was obviously the catalyst of two of the episodes.
Mhm.
I was kind of Emery was right there, but like I think Rampart did a little bit more and deserves a little more. Also, I just don't like Emery's vibes for some reason. I feel like she's more likely to betray them than Rampart is. I don't know why.
Really, I that's interesting because I don't think so.
I don't even know why. I just don't. I don't know. There's something sketchy
I
about her.
I really think she's a really interesting character. I'm gonna give her okay. I'll give her the MVP that you're not giving her because I will
Okay,
because
that's fair.
I think she's really interesting. And I think that like I do trust her. And I think we've seen her change enough this season that she's earned that trust for me. Whereas Rampart, I don't fucking trust you at all. You
That's
have not
actually valid.
you have not done anything to prove that you are loyal to anyone but yourself, which he says. So I'm gonna support that.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, again, I like Emery. It's just I don't. Her growth has been weird. Where it's like maybe it's secretly because I want her to like not to betray them and not be good because she was a fun like anti Omega for a little bit. But I don't know who else are you gonna give it to. Two
I'm
more.
gonna give it to Echo because he came
Okay,
up
yeah.
and he got shit done. When he hasn't been around much this season, but when he does come back, he gets shit done. Which I have to
He
respect.
was very effective. He was very effective. He
Yeah,
actually contributed more in that whole like getting to the getting to the planet thing than anybody else on that team, right? Because he was crucial in the command center. He was
Yes.
crucial, deactivating the tracking beacon from the ship.
Yeah.
He was crucial, you know, he had to blend in and do all that stuff. So he's been crucial the entire time.
Yeah, and he did something that made me really happy because I hate it when in Star Wars someone knocks out a stormtrooper and they're like, "Uh-oh." But then when they're asked to report in, they're not going to answer cuz they're knocked out. And he finally did the thing that I've been saying
Mm-hmm.
that they should do is pick up their comm, answer for them, and no one's going to know. They're Imperials. They won't think about how your voice is different. Who cares? And he did it. And I was like, "Thank you because you are the only one who's done that." Or at least like one of the only people who like actually like does that instead of being like, oh no, we're gonna get caught. It's like, no, he knew what he was doing, and I appreciated that because I swear to God, there are so many instances where stormtroopers show up and you knock them out, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
now
A
they're
New
not gonna
Hope.
report in.
A New Hope.
Yeah, it's like just pick up their comm. Oh, and he did it.
Although in A New Hope, Han did try to do it. It just ended very badly for him.
Yeah, you have to have that confidence.
Also, got to sound like a trooper. You can't sound like Han Solo.
Yeah. Ezra did it in Ahsoka too, and I was proud of him too because
Yeah.
these people are
They're
smart.
learning. They're learning slowly.
Yeah.
Who's your third one? You can use someone I've used.
I gotta give it to Rampart because of his sass and his screaming. Because that screaming was
That is
glorious.
true. And then him getting caught because he ran away.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was
Like the
hilarious.
voice acting is great from him, and I was just really impressed by it.
No,
And
you snubbed Crosshair. That's crazy.
I know.
That must have hurt you so much to
It
not pick
did.
Crosshair.
It did.
Like this is one of the few episodes where Crosshair probably like played a role, like a real role, and didn't get your MVP, or at least didn't get,
I
especially
know,
because
but
there's
I feel
three.
like I've given it to him earlier this season though.
You've
So
given it so many times. I feel like you know what I'll do at the end. I'm gonna go count them up and see who has the most at the
yeah,
end
who has the most MVPs? Because
from us. Yeah,
yeah,
that'd be an interesting. So, what are your expectations for the finale?
I have no fucking idea anymore. I
Okay,
thought I
so
did.
then let's do it like this. So you know Christmas, you make a list for Santa,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So what is if you could give Dave Filoni, who in this case I guess is Santa, your 3-item list for the 3 things you need to see either resolved, 3 characters you need to see come back, or 3 events you need to see happen, right? Just 3 things you can wish for that are going to come true for this finale. What are they?
Okay. Do you have any,
I
or am
do.
I? Okay. Do you want to go first while I
I
think?
will go first. Yeah.
Okay.
So my first one is I need to see the resolution to the kid. And I kind of given some of these away, but like I need to see the resolution to the kids. Like
Mm-hmm.
I need to know like my prediction, and because we're just putting predictions out right now, these kids are going to end up with Luke Skywalker. I think they're going to end up with either Luke Skywalker or Yoda or Obi-Wan or somebody. Like I actually don't remember what. I don't know if is Obi-Wan still alive right now. I feel like I should know that.
Yes,
He is,
but
right?
like he's hiding on Tatooine with Luke.
Or they're going to end up on Alderaan or something. Like they're going to end up with someone somewhere at the end. Maybe Ventures will start her own cult of people. I don't know. But they're going to end up with someone, and I need to see what happens with that. I want them to end up with a Jedi so they can be trained, right? So we can have this, like, maybe I don't know, Kanan or some, I don't know. But then you have to find a way to explain it away. But anyways, that's my first one. My second one is I need Rampart not only to get gain favor within the Imperials, but I need him to really like screw the Bad Batch. Either him or Emery, I'm okay with. And I need there to be some big, confrontation, some kind of, big event, and I need him to really get control. And in particular, because I want them to set up a spin-off show where he's the villain, right? Or either him or Emery are the main villain, and it's going to be an Omega Ventress spinoff show. And the third thing, which is connected to that, is I need them to set up the Ventress Omega spinoff show. I need them to I need the end of this show basically to be the pilot for that show. I don't know if that's possible in 20 minutes. It might not be. I need a Ventress Omega show, and I need this to set up the groundwork for that, because these characters in Omega specifically cannot be done after this show. It's impossible. Yeah.
Okay. So the finale is called "The Cavalry Has Arrived." There's only the batch. Where is Rex and his men? And I know we lost a lot of them, but like, where are they? I would like to see them show up. I don't know if that's possible, because like, no one knows the coordinates to Tantus, but Echo is there, and maybe he could sneaky send it to them and like them show up. I would love them to be involved in this final fight to free the clones. So that's one thing that I want. Number two, I would love to see the Force sensitive children be taken to the path, which is something we learned about in Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That also is acceptable to fulfill my thing, by the way.
Yeah, I think they can go with Quinlan Voss. I would love to see that happen. And
that's fine. I'm good at that.
And what's the third thing? I don't know what I specifically. I don't.
Zilla Beast resolution.
I guess so. I think one of the things that I do want is Omega's story not to end with her like a cliche leaving her family. I think that'd be boring.
Leaving your family to like go on an adventure on her own?
Yeah. Like, I don't want it to end that way, because I think
see, I want it to end like that as long as the adventure is adventurous.
See, maybe that can happen in the spinoff, but I don't want to see it end like at this end like that, because that doesn't feel like it fits with the show's themes of family. Like I
Wait, so
don't.
I have a question for you. If the result of the show, okay, let's just play an ending out here, okay? So this show ends, and one of the members dies. Everyone's in mourning, right?
Mhm.
And there's a funeral or some sort of thing, and Venture shows up, okay? And Omega, basically doing her self-sacrificing thing that she likes to do, says, "Look, I love you guys. I can't put you in danger anymore. You guys deserve to have your own life. But I'm not I can't just go because they all basically want to retire now, right? They want to not be troopers anymore. They're done fighting. They've kind of done what they needed to do." And Omega's like, "I'm not ready to do that. Obviously, I want to still fight. I want to still help people. I want to avenge whichever member of the batch died." And basically, she decides instead, because the options are, yes, stay with your family and retire basically at age, 13 or whatever she is, or go with Ventress and go fight and keep trying to fight and learn and become better. And so she chooses that, not because she's abandoning them, but more because she's trying to avenge someone, and because she doesn't want, they're done. They're going to be done. In all likelihood, they're going to retire, right? And she doesn't want, because I don't think that would be a bad way to end it, because I don't want her to go into retirement at age 13.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Would you be disappointed by that?
I just feel like it's kind of predictable.
Well, that's because I predicted it. But yeah, I mean, I know, I don't know.
I don't know where I want her story to end, but I don't want it to be done so predictably, is what I mean.
And if I can add a bonus thing, by the way, I do need, and I've been saying this, so I don't know if it's really a wish, but it's and it's not a wish. It's more of just I need this to happen for the sake of drama. I need at least 2 of the members of the team to die.
I knew you were going to say that.
It needs to happen. I'm sorry. I don't wish death upon these people that much.
Yes, you do. You're doing that right now.
Okay, yeah, I am wishing death on them. I do need 2, and ideally it's very painful and horrible deaths.
I have a bad feeling about someone
You
already.
should. You should, yeah. Um, but don't worry, we're gonna in a second we'll talk about the deaths more. But like yeah, this show needs to have stakes, and I think the best way to have stakes is to kill people. This team, like, I don't want this entire team just to go into retirement and just be done because that would be lame. I want them to like die and fight and feel sad and kind of be pushed toward that. I don't know. Now let's talk about cameos. Okay, now there's a whole range of characters in the Star Wars galaxy.
Mhm.
If you get to choose two people who you think are likely to cameo, okay, and one can be likely and one can be like, yeah, maybe kind of a realistic possibility, and one is a okay, this is a far out crazy idea, but maybe they can show up. Who are your picks for that?
I know that my crazy one would be Kanan.
Okay.
Because it would be a very cool full circle moment because, we saw the batch trying to save him in the first episode and obviously he didn't trust them to do that, and like I think it would be really poetic if he like came to like help them, and like it'd be a very big full circle moment. Do I think it's going to happen? No, I think I'm delusional. But I think that would be really cool.
And who's your kind of realistic one?
My realistic one? Oh god, I don't it's hard because I don't know who's realistic because no one knows where Tantus is.
But if like one person figures it out, anyone could, right?
That's true.
Like if one person outside of Kansas figures it out, then anyone could.
I think I'm going to say Rex then cuz like
Okay.
that would make sense to me if he shows up.
So my realistic one or my non-realistic one is kind of it's two people technically, which is cheating, but who cares? Um, Actually, no, it's not two people because I just remembered what the other Ahsoka.
Mhm.
Ahsoka's more unrealistic one. I mean, I don't know where she is exactly, but I know she knows. I know she's still in contact with Rex, and I know that she is
Mhm.
still alive. Um,
Yep.
oh, well, like again, if we're looking at people who, if Rex ends up on Tantus, who would be likely to show up with him would be Ahsoka.
Mhm.
Like I don't think that would be a thing you disagree with on that
Nope.
thing.
Nope.
My sneaky, I don't know. Maybe this is a cameo still. I don't know. My sneaky one is kind of I don't know Vader showing up. I don't know.
It
Have a
could.
nice Darth Vader return. I don't
It could.
know. I feel like
It's
that's a.
possible.
I think that's really. I feel like the Emperor might be the more realistic one of the two, but one of them
Yeah.
showing up for the finale would be realistic. I think
Yeah, I think the Emperor might be more likely because we don't even know if Vader knows about this place. Like
Vader knows everything.
is the Emperor keeping secrets even from him? Because I
Well,
think he
I mean, maybe, but would the Emperor want to really go back to like? I think he'd rather tell Vader about it than go back himself.
True.
Like
True.
because like with Vader, it feels like things are going off the wire on Tantus. He is the one of the few people who could easily just tell Vader where Tantus is, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no oh well how can they figure it out type thing, right?
Yeah.
Because
He could show
if
up.
well, and because if the think about it, if the Emperor hears the reports of like, oh, the Bad Batch found Tantus or whatever, and he's like, this, I can't have what we're doing there get out. What is the best way to deal with that?
Send Vader.
Just tell Vader, go kill everyone. I don't know. There's some crazy base thing going on. Don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
He'll kill people. Like I feel like that's probably the more realistic one because it just how he could find, you know, Tantus is easier, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Um, Now death. We're gonna do a death meter. Okay, I know.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you names of the characters from the batch. You're gonna
Okay.
tell me from 0 to 10 how likely they are to die in the finale,
Okay.
and you can't say zero for everyone. Okay.
Okay.
Omega.
I think zero. I don't like they don't fuck with their kids. I don't think.
They don't. The Ahsoka
That's
doesn't
the
didn't
main
die.
character.
Ezra didn't die. Omega's
Yeah.
probably not gonna die. I'm not gonna say zero. I'll say like two. but still basically 0. Maybe
Very low.
1. Yeah,
Very low.
low, low, low. Um, okay. Echo.
This one is hard because if Echo would like, I imagine that Echo's gonna keep fighting till his dying day, no matter what. So why do we not see him? There's no precedent. He has no plot armor. Why don't we see him in Rebels with Rex and Wolf and Gregor on
Mhm.
that planet? So
Mhm.
like I think it's higher. I'm gonna say like a 7, 8, 9, maybe.
That I'm gonna say 9. I
Okay.
think I think he's the most likely Bad Batch member to die. He is because he's also, remember, he predated the Batch, right? So
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
also the oldest character,
Yeah.
and I think he would have it like if you're looking at it from a story perspective, right? He would have the most emotional
Hmm.
resonance if he died because he was a Clone Wars character way back in the day,
Hmm.
right? So he died and then he came back to life technically, right? Like
Yeah.
he didn't technically die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so he is probably the most likely one to die of the group.
Hmm.
So I agree with that.
And he was also a member of Domino Squad, and the saying is the last domino
Right.
has to fall. So, oh.
He's been living on borrowed time for this entire show.
Yeah, we
Um,
have been very lucky to even have him, like, because we thought he was dead. So, like,
which I did before Bad Batch even showed up. Yeah.
yeah. So, you know, I don't want to say it, but yeah.
But so now we're gonna go on to some of the other ones. Crosshair.
I think that Crosshair is going to try to sacrifice himself, and the other characters are going to be like, absolutely not. I'm gonna put him at like a 5, 6, maybe. I don't think he's gonna die, but I think he's going to try.
Yeah, I basically agree with everything you said. I think he's gonna try. I think maybe I'd put him a little bit higher because I think there's a chance he dies. Because
Mhm,
again, kind of full character type thing. But I could see him retiring too. Like I don't see that being a necessity for him.
mhm.
Um, what about Wrecker?
Ooh, I have a bad feeling because his armor is messed up. I don't know if you saw,
Mm-hmm.
but his armor got fucked up in the last fight with the big beastie thing. His armor's messed up, and that makes me concerned that he like. I feel I have a very bad feeling about Wrecker, and I don't like that. But like, I'm gonna put like an 8.
8. So I'm gonna go 5 as well. I feel like he's just so big that he can't die. Like gone through a lot and he has not died.
Hmm.
So that's what I'm a little bit, concerned about. Or at
Hmm.
least not concerned, but like at least a little bit thinking, like I'm thinking about is the fact that he's gone through so much and he can't seem to die. So that's why I
Hmm.
put him at 5. Like I think he might be in a position to die and he still won't die.
Hmm.
Now let's go a little bit off the board a little bit. Hemlock.
I I think it's very likely that he'll die because why don't we see him in any future projects? Um, I think he's gonna get eaten by the Zilla Beast.
Really?
Yeah,
What about Emery?
I think it's very likely that she'll die.
Really likely.
Yeah, I have a feeling that her story is going to round out with her trying to do the right thing by sacrificing herself so that like the others can escape or whatever.
So I think, sorry, because I realized I forgot to answer Hemlock. So making sure I'm missing any characters. Hemlock. Um, I think he's gonna. I think he's probably like a 6 to die. I don't think he's gonna die. I think they're gonna keep him around because he can, like with the Imperial State, you can kind of do like, oh, he was super covert and you didn't even know he was alive this entire
Hmm.
time type thing, right? So that's why I don't think he has to die because we haven't seen him. Like a
Hmm.
lot of people, yeah, but for him, it's like, yeah, he was covert, whatever.
Yeah,
You don't know those covert people,
maybe he'll fake his death,
right?
and then
Yeah,
at
he
the end
might.
we'll see him alive.
I think he's more likely actually killed by like the Empire than he is by anyone. And then for Emery, I think Emery. Well, I think it's more likely she dies than Hemlock dies,
Mhm.
but I don't think she's got like I think she'd probably be around a 7 or 8. Like I don't think she's like a very high death alert person.
Mhm.
Now the last major character, there's one other one I want to throw on there, but the heart. I mean, I guess the leader of the Bad Batch, Hunter.
It could go either way. It's hard to say. I think like it's either he's gonna be like the last one standing or the one to die for them all. And I
I'm
don't
putting him
know.
at a 9, by the way, just so you know. I'm putting him at a
I
9. High alert.
understand that because yeah.
And by the way, and again, I know this is gonna hurt you. This he's the one I want to see die. I think he is the. I think for this show, I think he'd have the most emotional impact. I think he'd have the most impact on outside of Crosshair, have the most impact on Echo if he dies, because Echo's two parents have been Hunter and Crosshair.
Do you mean Omega?
That's what I meant. Omega, yeah. Sorry, who
Okay,
was
I
it?
was
What
like
was I saying?
Echo. He's the
Oh,
oldest.
Echo. No, yeah, no. Her two Omega's two parents have been Hunter and Crosshair, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
They've been the two kind of parents who've been kind of guiding her, right?
Mhm.
The like you got the grandfather Echo, you've got the the brother in Wrecker, but the Hunter and they're the two for her.
Yeah.
If either both, one of them has to die
Yeah.
because those will be the most profound on her are those two.
Mhm.
Now, if you had to pick an over under on a number of how many of the original Bad Batch characters, right? So Hunter, Crosshair, Echo, Wrecker, Omega are gonna die. So the five of them.
Mhm.
What would it, if the over under said at like 3.5 of them die, or two? Actually, let's go 2.5 of them die.
Um I'm gonna go with my gut instinct and say Echo and Wrecker.
Echo and Wrecker. Okay, okay,
And then
okay.
potentially Hunter. But I don't know.
See, do you think it's more likely all of them die or none of them die?
Um
Like all of them outside of Omega.
I don't see all of them dying
But do you see
because
none of them dying? Like, do you see there's any world where we end this and none of them are dead?
potentially it depends. And
See, I don't see that.
I also need to see the finale runtime to know how much time we have to fucking get out of there.
Yeah, I think it's more likely they all die than one of them dies.
I understand that.
But yeah, is that it? Have we? Did we do you have anything else you want to predict or say?
No, I think that's it.
Let me see if there's. So the IMD, I believe the IMDb time for this. Let me see if there's any new information online.
Okay.
Bad Batch season finale runtime. Let's see if the internet can give me any information on.
The last time I googled it, it looked very inaccurate. Like it looked like an AI generated article. So I'm not sure if you'll find anything, but we could try.
Because if there's any rumors, sometimes there's rumors spreading about. The rumor right now is an hour long.
I would be down for that. That would make sense to me.
It's basically guaranteed to be longer than usual. Right
Yeah.
now, the running runtime is someone in Reddit said more than 1 minute and less than 900 minutes.
Yeah, that's helpful. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah. So right now, a lot of people are saying probably either a double 25. So the
50?
usual.
Yeah.
Hmm? Yeah.
50 minute? Yeah.
Yeah, 50 minutes, but as you would, because like because when they used to do it, right, like when you have long run times, typically because it was on cable, it would be two slots.
Mhm,
It could be the hour slot on cable,
mhm,
but now it's on streaming, so you could technically run it like, you know 37 minutes or 53 minutes, or like you don't
mhm.
have to have a specific time.
Yeah,
So I that's the one that's the weird one. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think that's it. We did a good job. 55 minutes. Talked about
damn.
3 episodes.
Look at us go.
By the way, if it's 25 minutes long, I will throw something.
Me
Um,
too. I already said I'm throwing my laptop and my phone out the window.
yeah. No, I'm agreeing with you. I will throw something as well.
Yeah, you will hear glass shattering at 3 a.m. I
Hmm.
will not be apologizing.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, and we'll talk about it. We'll definitely do something. We'll do something on Wednesday at
Yep,
some point.
yep,
Um, we'll figure that out later.
yep.
But absolutely, we will be live on Wednesday to talk about the series finale. Um, maybe a potential now. Sometimes what they do like to do, which will be interesting, is they do like to sometimes do the finale and then announce a spinoff. So
Mhm,
we may be able to talk about the Omega, because they obviously don't want to spoil the ending.
mhm,
So they have it ready, and then they
mhm.
just announce, yeah, we're gonna do a Ventress Omega spinoff, by the way. So if
I
they
think,
announce that, we'll have two things to talk about.
yeah, I think it's likely that if we're gonna get an announcement, it's gonna be on May the 4th, because that's Star Wars Day.
Probably.
But a girl can hope.
But sometimes they'll want to announce it, or they're good. They know it's going to get leaked, so they
Yeah,
want to get rid of it. So they basically
that's
wait till
true.
the second the finale drops, and they're like, "Just kidding, we're doing this too," because they don't want people to spoil it before the end of before the show comes out. Because if you
Yeah,
know Omega get a spinoff, you know she's not going to die.
yeah,
But yeah. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And look, this is not going anywhere. Bad Batch is ending, which is sad, but we are still going to talk about Star Wars.
yeah,
So much Star Wars stuff, and with the other nonsense too, I'm sure, as things continue to happen.
yeah.
But yeah, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you later. Bye.